I have been struggling for weeks, months, to make this video. And I actually hope I post this. Um, I know it's going to be emotional. I know I might cry, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Um, for a long time, I have been suffering in silence. Um, and I haven't had the opportunity to really talk about it. Um, as most of you know, I share my journey, I share my experiences, and I'm very open, and I give a little bit more of myself than I'm all the time comfortable with. But a lot of it is just to help. So, standing in my truth, I know that this video is necessary. I'm not sure if I'll edit it. I probably won't because transferring things from like my iPad to my lap, it's just weird and I don't get it. And I'm tech savvy, but my patience is like, so yeah. But I'm kind of anxious even like making this, and that's the thing that's crazy to me. Um, so here goes. Hello, my name is Desiree, and I suffer from anxiety and depression. Yikes. I suffer from anxiety and depression. And it's, why am I getting emotional? Like, why is this happening? Because I'm on the better end now, and I don't want anybody to watch this and feel sorry for me, and I don't want them to feel like, I don't want you to pity me because I'm a human and I'm going through the human experience. But it's been an emotional roller coaster for me, and I'm better. I'm so good now, and I just want y'all to know that. And like, if it wasn't for God, like I don't know where I'd be. I don't. Ooh, I just started. How? Oh, okay. So I guess I'll start with where it all began. My senior year of college, there was a lot going on. It was just a lot, and emotionally, I couldn't gauge where I was. And I realized later that it was fall semester. I remember it. It was fall semester, and I was going through a lot just between my academics, my sorority, cheerleading, friendships, figuring out what the next move was post graduation. There was a lot. And I became very introverted. And I just thought, like, I just didn't want to be around people. I just thought I was just over it. And later on, I realized that I was depressed. Um, and when people hear me say depressed, this is the part that gets me. When people hear me say, "Oh, I'm depressed," they think, "Oh, she's just sad," or "Oh, she's just going through something and she'll get over it." Because when you think, depression, you think extreme sadness. And at the time, I didn't even know I was going through it. But after the winter left, cold months left, I was fine. The next year, I was good. But as of recent, I've noticed in colder months that I go through this. So every winter, pretty much for the last 3 to 4 years, I've been going through this. And it's difficult for me to identify that I'm going through it. My boyfriend at the time, he actually said to me, he said, "I think you're depressed." And it kind of confused me because I just thought, I was just stressed out. I was just going through whatever. But looking back in hindsight, I can see that I was depressed at that time. And it's funny because I recently researched seasonal affective disorder. And it sounds very much like what I have. No, I haven't been to the doctors. What I do plan on going, but no, I haven't been to the doctors about it. But I've identified it, so I know that I have a problem. But this last year has been very difficult for me. It's been very difficult being away from home, going through a breakup, being away from family, not having very many friends here. It's been lonely. And with that, and not finding a place that I can feel comfortable, it led me into like a place that I've never been before. Now, when I say that, I wasn't thinking, thoughts of suicide, of course, but I just did not want to be around people. I was angry, um, mean. I would snap on people. And that was a part of me that I used to have. I used to be I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. But now I've learned how to channel that. But all of a sudden it all just hit me. And I couldn't gauge it. I couldn't get a grip on it. And then it was frustrating because I was frustrated with myself because I would just snap on people and I wasn't being very nice. And I found myself apologizing to people once I recognized what I was doing. I apologized to them, but I thought I was okay. Summer came and it was better. Warm months just give me life. They make me feel like me again because I'm a summer baby, and warmth and good weather and the beach, it's everything to me. But towards the end of the summer, that's when my anxiety kicked in. I used to have anxiety attacks but very sparingly. Like it would just be like, I'm an overthinker. I overthink everything. So anxiety attacks would happen to me every couple of years, maybe once a year. And that was just from me over worrying myself, stressing myself out. But now I was having them frequently. And even as soon as last month, I was having them a couple times a week. I had to go home. I had to be around my family and be around my friends. And it put me back in a good place. It put me in a really, really good place. Is this still recording? Oh yeah, we're recording. Okay. It put me in a really good place, and it also gave me a sense of who I am. But what I realized is that being away from home, being around just people all day, but I had nothing to connect to. I needed something to connect to. Spiritually, I haven't really been doing what I need to do for me. I'm not in church, not going to church like I should be, and that is very much a big part of me. It makes me feel like it's like home. It's like home, and I have the opportunity to be around like-minded people. I have this saying. I feel like a unicorn. The unicorn. Everyone thinks they exist, but you never see one. And that's what I felt like. I felt like this person that no one understood, and they're just like, kind of like, why are you here? And I have people ask me frequently, well, why, how can you live in New York City and you don't have anybody to really, hang out with? And there's so many people there. I would be meeting people and da-da-da. But you have to understand, I live in New York City. However, I work in an industry where everything is smokes and mirrors. It's fake. It's just fake. And you search your whole time for something real. And the reason being is because, we make things look like they aren't. So it's like, I have this girl who's okay, my camera decided to cut off. So we'll try this again. So I don't know where it left off, but I'm in the industry. Okay, so I'm in an industry where everything is smokes and mirrors. Everyone tries to make their life look like something that it's not, and that's okay. But it's not real. It's very hard to connect with someone on a level. It's physical. Spiritual. Emotional level. You don't get these kind of connections. So here I am, giving all that I have pouring myself into my job, pouring myself into modeling, and getting nothing back. So giving. Right, so it looks like I'm gonna have to finish this video from my phone. Hopefully this actually works, but whatever, let's go. Alright, so I think I've said this about 3 times, but we'll go over it again. I work in an industry where it's just difficult to meet people. And I live in a city where it's difficult to meet people. So imagine, I'm devoting 90% of my life to either work part-time or my craft, modeling. So now I am eliminating a opportunity to meet people outside of this circle, this realm, this facade of fakeness. Because I work in an industry that is not based on reality. So now I am devoting my time to all of this and I'm not getting anything back. So giving. You think people are your friends until you actually meet them or you express yourself to them and they have nothing to say, or they just stare at you like, that sucks. And that hurts. And then you have the people that tear you down in the industry. Well, they tell you what you should be, what you should look like, what you should dress like, what you should talk like, what you should show up like. So you have all these thoughts, you have all these ideas, you have all these perceptions of who you are, what you're about, and what you do. And none of them are really you. On top of that, you don't have a place to really be yourself. Then you try to talk to people about it and they don't understand. So it was kind of like I was going crazy in my own head. You know, I couldn't find a place where I felt safe and just felt like Desiree. I have friends, yes, but it's difficult to explain this to someone who's never been through it. You know, they typically cannot understand, and not that they don't want to understand, they just can't because it doesn't make sense to them. It's not their world. So now I'm forced to suffer in silence. And it sucked. And it led me down a path of becoming a person that I wasn't. So now I am a person who's quiet. Well, not at this moment, but I was a person that was quiet, withdrawn, introverted, and I didn't seem like much fun. And that killed me because it didn't allow me to be Desiree. And the one thing that you need most out of life is to be yourself. Because if you're not, you lose it. That's why you see a lot of people in Hollywood who are just like, you know, who do drugs, or, you know, they have destructive behaviors because they're fighting to be themselves. They're fighting to be this person. They're fighting the opinions of others, and they're fighting all these things coming at them, and they don't have an outlet. They don't have a place where they feel comfortable and can be who they need to be. So they find a way to mask all of it and get away from it. And yeah, I didn't have that place. So for months in 2015, I was unhappy. But you know what? I'm okay now. And not to say okay like, oh, everything's been figured out and, you know, life is complete, but I'm in a much better place, and I'm starting to love myself again the way I should be. I went home, talked to my parents, got back to the root of who I am, talked to family and expressed myself, and some of them couldn't understand it. It was fine. But I got back to the root of who I am as a person. And that helped. I started going to church again. That was needed because faith is at my foundation. Hallelujah. Faith is at my foundation. So when you get back to the things that are at the core, the things that matter most, the things that are important, that's when you can find yourself again. You know, if you ever lose yourself, if you ever get off track, go back to the beginning. Go back to what matters. Go back to the core of everything. And that's where you find yourself. And That's what I found myself doing. So I went back to church. I started reading books again. And, I'm a reader, so I love it. I love to escape. I love escape, not escape. Escape. I love, I'm a dreamer. So doing that, it felt great. And I just got back to that. I started focusing on the things that mattered, the people who matter. Because people are going to have something to say about you regardless. And I forgot that for a second. I let their voices speak louder than my own. So the things that, the wrong things people were saying to me stuck out a lot more in my head than the right things. So I started to rid myself of those thoughts, other people's thoughts, and started to encourage myself. The music I listened to, spiritually, I had to throw some gospel back into my playlist. Drake had to have a seat for a second, but I had to just get my mind together. I've removed myself from a lot of people. Not to say I'm better than anybody, not to say that, I don't want to be around these people, but if you're not conducive to my future, my present, the things I'm trying to do, the person I'm trying to become, the person I'm trying to be, you gotta go. You're holding up space, and people in my life were holding up space. They're just occupying slots. And it's crazy. I can't even explain how I feel right now. I have this energy running through me. It's nervous energy, it's anxiety, but it's also relief. It's also happiness. It's also joy. So there's my body, it's fighting itself right now because I'm expressing how I feel, and I haven't done this. I haven't been able to really tell my truth. And I am the product. Well, okay. When I was young, my mother always told me, you never let them see you sweat. Don't be in there crying, and you don't show people that side of you. And not to say that she was telling me not to feel, not to have emotions, but I internalized that as to I have to be strong all the time, and people can't see it. And a part of that was learned from me being open, me being honest with people, me being very upfront when I was younger, and telling everyone how I felt and what was going on in my life and all the things I was going through, and they used it against me. They used every bit of my frustration and my pain against me. Oh, she's not the person that y'all think she is, and she's not as great. And I took that as they can't see that you have issues. They can't see that you have problems, and if they do, they'll use it against you. They'll tell everyone your truth, and they'll tell everyone that you're not perfect, and you'll be just like them. And not to say that anything is wrong, but with being like everyone else and showing that you have problems. But I couldn't see that. I couldn't see it. I didn't know. And this is a part of growing. This is a part of your 20s. It's a lot of finding yourself. It's a lot of confirmations, and it's a lot of aha moments, as Oprah would say. And I've had a lot of aha moments this past year. So yeah, I am on the better end. I am pleased with who I am. I stopped apologizing. I stopped apologizing for who I am. I stopped apologizing for my greatness. I stopped apologizing for making the decisions I did in life to put me where I am today. Because I feel like anybody else has a opportunity to do these things. I have a dream, and all I did was go for it. And I didn't stop when people told me no. I didn't stop when people told me I couldn't. And I didn't stop when people told me I would never get it. I just did it. And I cried, and I was frustrated, and I was angry. But you know what? I took that and I used it as the catalyst to my dream. And now I'm living it. And I'm not anywhere close to where I want to be. I got so much more left to do. But I'm pleased with my progress. And that's another thing. I'm pleased with my progress. I'm pleased. I'm happy. I opened my eyes. I can see all the things that I've done. Do you know what it's like to walk through life and not be able to recognize everything that you've accomplished? And I was doing that. I was walking through life unhappy. I could not see the progress. I could not see my success. I could not see all the things that I've overcome and the person that I've become. And I could not be proud of it because I was too busy focusing on what other people said. And you know what? All those people who said those things, they're eating their words. They're eating them. Eating them. That's the biggest thing you can do. If anybody tells you can't do something, you have them eat their words. Eat them. Okay? You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to tell them what you want to do. You just have them eat it. Especially when they think you need them. You don't need them. You need you. You need God. That's it. That's the equation. You know, there's going to be people along the way. I'm preaching. There's going to be people along the way who will offer you a hand. You take their hand. But you got to know that, you know, they're there for a reason. They're a vessel. Allow them to be a vessel. Allow them to help you. But if you feel like they don't have your best interest in hand, you don't need them. You don't have to compromise who you are. You don't have to compromise what you're about in order to get to where you want to go. You don't have to do any of that. And you want to know why? Because what's for you is for you. You will not miss anything. That is the lesson that I've had to learn time and time again. You will not miss anything that is yours. This past year, I've been like, I'm in the year of weddings. So I'm at that age where everyone's getting married or they're having a baby. And I'm like, I want a baby. I want to get married. Not in that order, but I want to get married. I want to have a baby. And not to say, whatever. Anyway, I'm always apologizing for the things I say. I feel how I feel. So you see me thinking, I overthink and I'm overthinking as I speak. But, you know, I want these things and I want a family and I want happiness because I'm a nurturer. I'm a person who cares and I want my own family. But, you know, I have to accept this is where I am right now. If I brought a child into my life right now, it would be chaos. I can barely be there for myself. And I live in my body. So how am I going to take care of somebody else? So I have to step back and be like, Desiree, listen. It's all good. Like, just let it happen. And, you know, it'll happen when it's supposed to. You will find the man that is meant for you when you're supposed to. And if you already know him, then it'll come to pass when it's supposed to. And you will have the family. You will have, you know, the life that you want. It may not look the way you thought it would, but you'll have it. And when you rest and you sit in that and you just accept it, there's such a weight that just goes, whew. Oh, you can't see my hands. There's a weight that is lifted. And I can't really explain it, but there's a weight that is lifted when you let go all of this. Just the ideas of what you should be and how you should look and what you should, you know, do and how it should look. When you let that stuff go, I'm trying not to curse because I know my mom is going to watch this video. But when you let that shit go, sorry mom, when you let that shit go, life is just so much easier. You got to let it go. Because if you don't, it'll eat you up inside. If you don't, it'll be like me. You'll be like me. Walking through New York City, surrounded by thousands of people, having an anxiety attack on the freaking subway. You can't get off because the door, you got to stand clear of the closing doors, please. You can't get off. So you're in this tight space. You're on this tight train. And it's just not good. So listen, if you can take anything from me, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. And if you are going through these things, if you feel the way I felt, if you know what it's like to not want to get out of bed and, you know, you don't have the drive, the push to do all the things that you want to do on a daily basis, getting in the shower, let me tell you. And it's not that I'm not a dirtball, but listen, getting in the shower, I was like, why do I don't even want to do this. That's the start of my day. I did not want to start my day. I didn't want to start my day. Life is a gift, and I didn't want to start my day. That's crazy. But you know, there are people who feel like this, and there are people who are going to benefit from this video, and that's the only reason why I'm making it, because I'm struggling through this, y'all. I didn't want to start my day. But you know what? I thank God. And I'm trying not to be preachy, and because I'm learning that faith makes people uncomfortable. I didn't know. I grew up in a place where everyone went to church. For the most part. And if you didn't go to church, it was okay, but you at least knew something about it. But now I'm meeting atheists. I'm meeting people who are just religious. No, wait. No, they're spiritual. That's what they say. I'm spiritual. I'm not really religious. And I'm meeting people of other religions, and it makes people uncomfortable to talk about religion, which is really weird because it's part of life, you know. It is what it is. And you believe what you believe, and I respect you. I respect everyone, but I can't hide it anymore. God is good. And I don't apologize for loving God, because he's been too good to me to front on him for what? For what? For people to like me? For people to accept me? They don't accept me anyway. When I wasn't really talking about God like that, they wasn't accepting me anyway, so I might as well. If it wasn't for him, I would not be here. I would not be here. I would not be here. I wouldn't be at this level. I wouldn't be at this frame of mind. I wouldn't be here. And he is the reason why I am here. And I give that all to him, because he has yet to fail me. There were times where I feel like he has forgotten me. That's real life. I felt like he forgot me. But he promised to never leave or forsake me. And I feel God every day. Every day. Once I started getting my mind together, you know, I could feel the separation. I could feel the lack of his presence in my life. And that was because the line, it was kind of like, okay, this is the perfect explanation. When you are driving, you're listening to your favorite radio station, you start to get out of that area where the station reaches. Well, you start to get a little fuzzy. You get a little static on the line. But you can still hear the song. You're like, get it? But then the more further and further out of bounds you drive, the less and less of that song you hear. And then it completely becomes static. So you got to turn around sometimes and get back to the area where you're supposed to be. Hallelujah. You got to get back to the area that you're supposed to be in. And once you stay in your lane, once you stay in your area, not to say this area limits you. Don't take it as that. This area is where you're supposed to be. If you're out of bounds for where you're supposed to be, you can be there. You can go there. Your car will drive you anywhere as long as you give it the gas to go. So as long as you feed your body the food it needs, it will continue to go. However, there was an area that you are supposed to be in. And if you go outside that area, you will not be connected this way. And things this way will start to get a little fuzzy. And that's what it was in my life. I wasn't connected vertically. So horizontally, all the things in my world were not connected. And once I got back to that, once I started hearing God and listening to his voice and put that grocery cart back, you know, that voice, when it tells you about the grocery cart, you're like, come on, it's just a grocery cart. These are lessons, these are tests just to get you to where you got to go. And if you don't listen in the small moments and you don't hear those little tests, you're not going to pass the big test. So I had to listen. You know, I stopped fighting my calling also. You know, God speaks to me. I don't know where this video is going, but whatever. He's using me. So somebody out there needs this. God speaks to me. And sometimes he'll tell me to go speak to people. And I'm like, I don't want to go speak to them. They don't want to hear what I have to say. And a lot of it, believe it or not, the Lord asked me to speak to homeless people. It's crazy. And I guess because the homeless are the forgotten, we forget that they're human beings sometimes. We forget that they're in need just like we are. A lot of them are not mentally where they need to be. And often he'll have me just go to them and encourage them. Because I'll be on the train and I don't really have cash on me. I don't have coins. But it's always a word that comes to my heart. It always comes to my heart. And it says, Desiree, say this to him. And I have two choices. I can either turn my headphones up louder and try to drown it out, or I can listen. And I've noticed the more that I start listening, the way things start to change. And they have begun to change. I guess I can wrap this up because I feel much better. If you or anyone you know is suffering from depression, anxiety, it's okay. I encourage you to seek help. It doesn't have to be you seeking help in the form of pills, you taking medication for it, but talk to somebody. I was seeking therapy, and I haven't gone to a therapist yet, but that is the plan. But yes, I plan on doing that just to have someone to talk to that's non-judgmental. Either that or use a friend. If there's someone that you trust wholeheartedly with, the things that you have to say, I say go for it. Don't hesitate to do that, because you don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to mask the way you feel. You don't have to be alone, and you shouldn't be alone. I really hope I put this video out. I will put this video out. Peace, love to all of you. And now I can get back to writing my blogs because I've cleared all of this. Whew, that was heavy. Bye, guys.